Today, we're going to take a stroll through Barcelona, one of the most vibrant cities in Spain. This place is like a living, breathing art gallery with a history that goes back over 2,000 years. Ready to explore? Let's go. Our first stop is the Sagrada Familia. Now I know what you're thinking, another church? But this isn't just any church. This is Antoni Gaudi's masterpiece, and it's been under construction for over 140 years.
You see the rock with the horse? Well, actually it's not a bull, it's an ox. It's a winch ox, and he's...
That is our guide explaining what Elsie means and challenging us to find characters sculpted on the church while he organizes our tickets. Gaudi started working on this in 1883, and get this, it's still not finished. They're hoping to wrap it up by 2026, which would be the 100th anniversary of Gaudi's death. Talk about a long-term project, right? Okay guys, we're going in. When you look at it, you might think, what's with all the crazy shapes? Well, Gaudi was inspired by nature. Those towering spires, they're meant to look like trees reaching up to the sky. And inside, the columns branch out like a forest canopy. It's like Gaudi took a forest and turned it into stone. But it's not just about looks. Gaudi was smart cookie. He designed the church to have perfect acoustics. You could whisper at one end, and someone at the other end could hear you clearly. Pretty cool, huh? Next up, we've got Casa Batlló. This is another one of Gaudi's creations, and it's something else. People call it the House of Bones because from the outside, the balconies look like skulls and the columns like bones. Gaudi redesigned this building in 1904. The original house was pretty boring, so the owner, Josep Batllo, asked Gaudi to jazz it up, and boy did he deliver. The roof looks like the back of a dragon, with colorful scales made of ceramic tiles. Legend has it that the cross on top of the roof represents St. George's lance stuck in the dragon's back. St. George is a patron saint of Catalonia, so it's a nod to local culture. I didn't get a chance to go inside, so I can't show you any footage, but yeah, this is one of the things you should do in Barcelona, and you should not miss this. Okay, there's a lot of people here. Well, not as many as what you get in Italy, like Rome, for example, but still a lot of people. You gotta be early to come here. Next up, let's head up to Park Güell. This place is like stepping into a Dr. Seuss book, but with a Spanish twist. It was originally meant to be a fancy housing development, kind of like a gated community for the rich and famous of Barcelona. Gaudi's patron, Josep Güell, bought the land in 1900. He wanted to create a stylish park for Barcelona's aristocracy. But here's the thing, it was a total flop. Only 2 houses were ever built, and one of them became Gaudi's home for 20 years. The park is full of whimsical structures. There's a giant lizard fountain at the entrance, covered in colorful mosaic tiles. It's become a symbol of Barcelona, and you'll see it on pretty much every souvenir in the city. One of the coolest parts is the big terrace. It's got this long winding bench that looks like a sea serpent. But it's not just for show. It's designed for the perfect shape for sitting and chatting with your friends. Gaudi even had workers sit in wet clay to figure out the most comfortable shape for the human body. Talk about dedication to comfort. Okay guys, I don't think like a lot of these people know what they're looking at, like including myself. You gotta like have an audio tour or like a guide, read about the things that we're looking at. Otherwise, it's just like taking pictures, like following what people are doing. Moving on, we've got the Arc de Triomf. Now I know what you're thinking, isn't that in Paris? Well, Barcelona's got one too, and it's got its own story. This arch was built in 1888 for the Barcelona World Fair, but unlike other triumphal arches that celebrate military victories, this one was all about welcoming visitors to the fair. It's like Barcelona's way of saying, come on in, the party's this way. The arch is made of red brick, which gives it a warm, inviting look. It's covered in sculptures and reliefs that tell stories about Barcelona's history and culture. On one side, you've got figures representing the arts, sciences, and industries. On the other, there are allegories of fame, rewards, and hospitality. Oh wow, there's a lot of photographers here, even using old school cameras from the 1800s. Awesome. So, yeah, well, how good is that? Parc de La Ciutadella has a pretty intense history. Back in the early 18th century, this wasn't a park at all. It was a massive fortress built to keep the people of Barcelona in check. After they lost the War of Spanish Succession. For over 150 years, this fortress was a symbol of oppression for the locals. But in 1869, General Prem decided enough was enough and gave the fortress to the city. The people of Barcelona were so happy, they immediately started tearing it down. Fast forward to 1888, this former fortress became the site of the World Fair we just talked about. After the fair, it was turned into the beautiful park we see today. It's like the ultimate recycling project. One of the coolest features is the big fountain designed by Josep Montseri. A young Antoni Gaudi actually worked on this as one of his first projects. He designed the waterfall and some of the decorative elements. It's like seeing the early work of a rock star before they hit it big. Oh, it's facing me. So, yeah, it's like that. Hi. Let's head up to Montjuic now.
Okay, well, I think this train line is the easiest I've been in so far. The other lines are kind of difficult to figure out. They also have a display on the door what the station is. For example, I'll show you this. Tells you exactly where you're at, so it's easy to figure out when to go out of the train. Okay. I'm trying to figure out where to go for that funicular, and just look at the signs. Super efficient. If you look at that screen, it tells you how long you should wait. So 7 minutes. That's boarding time. This is probably the best spot. And this is a driverless train. Okay guys, I'm alone in this cabin. It's awesome. Cable car in Barcelona. Look at that, you guys. I'm so happy I'm alone in this cabin. Oh, look at the city, bro. Oh my gosh. I've been on breakfast while and this cable car is just awesome. Like, look at that view. Okay, there's a little bit of stop here because the cable car is turning. It's turning to the right. So I thought this was a stop because it's cheap. It's like 13 euros return. But it's just because the cable car was turning to the right. I'm gonna take a photo. So I'm gonna try to explore what this place is all about. Did not read anything. I just wanted to ride that cable car. And I'm here. I think there's a castle here somewhere. Should have worn short pants. It's hot today. I didn't even check the weather. I wonder what's that in the middle. Looks like a castle. And it's fortified. Usually in the medieval times they would put something like that to fortify a castle and prevent it from getting attacked by invaders. So I'm gonna look and walk. Let's see what they have here. That looks like a cruise ship. I think this is where cruise ship docks, actually. It's a cruise ship here for sure. Yeah, it's getting super hot. Look at this. We don't want to be in this spot. It seems like they're processing some kind of wolf. And I can smell it. It's probably not good for your health. You? Are you lost? Okay, one thing I noticed about Barcelona and the places I've been, there's lots of flies. Even in Cannes in France, there's a lot of flies. Sometimes they go inside your mouth accidentally and you swallow them.
Hill has seen it all, from ancient Iberian settlements to the 1992 Olympics. The name Montjuic means Jewish mountain in medieval Catalan. There was a Jewish cemetery here in medieval times, which is where the name comes from. But Hill's history goes back way further than that. In the 17th century, a castle was built on top of the hill. It wasn't exactly a friendly place. It was used as a fortress to keep an eye on the city as a prison. During the Spanish Civil War in the 1930s, it was a place where political prisoners were held and executed. Pretty grim stuff. But nowadays, Montjuic is all about culture and recreation. It's home to a bunch of museums like the National Museum of Art of Catalonia. The views from up here are incredible. You can see the whole city and the Mediterranean beyond. One of the coolest things here is the Magic Fountain. It was built for the 1929 International Exhibition, and it puts these amazing light and water shows. Imagine a fountain dancing to music with changing colors. It's like a rave, but classier. So there you have it, a whirlwind tour of some of Barcelona's most iconic landmarks, from the whimsical creations of Gaudi to the historical depths of Montjuic. This city is a treasure trove of stories and art. So the next time you find yourself in Barcelona, take a moment to look beyond the surface. Every building, every street, every square has a tale to tell, and who knows, maybe you'll add your own chapter to the ongoing story of this amazing city. Till next time, happy travels.